This woman, let's just call her Author. One night, Author goes into her bedroom and she finds her husband there on the floor, and he's not moving and he's unresponsive. Now her husband is this guy. Let's call him Mason because he owns a successful masonry business. So Mason is there on the floor and Author panics. So she calls 911, but unfortunately, it's too late. Mason ultimately doesn't make it. And months later, a toxicology report comes out and it shows that he OD'd on fentanyl. Now Author and Mason have 3 sons, and the sons are really struggling with the loss of their father. So Author gets an idea. She's going to write a children's book designed to help her sons and other children process the loss of a loved one. So she writes it. The book is called Are You With Me? And here she is on TV promoting it.
My husband passed away unexpectedly last year, and it completely took us all by shock.
Until about a month after she publishes the book, boom, police arrest Author. Why? Well, let's look at this from Mason's perspective. So this is Mason. He has 3 sons and a wife we'll call Author. Now Mason is a successful guy, but unfortunately his marriage isn't doing too well. They're fighting all the time, and she had allegedly been spending a bunch of his money, and he didn't like that, so he confronts her, and she promises to pay him back, and it's a whole mess. And at the end of the day, Mason simply doesn't trust her. And allegedly, he starts planning a divorce, and he secretly changes his life insurance, and he secretly changes his will, making her no longer the beneficiary of all his money. Then, one day, on Valentine's Day, she allegedly makes him a sandwich. He takes one bite of it, and suddenly, he can't breathe. And then he breaks out in hives, and luckily there's an EpiPen nearby, and he stabs himself with it before he passes out. Now Mason survives, but he wakes up feeling real suspicious that his wife tried to poison him. Then, about a month later, he's at home with Author, and they're drinking Moscow Mules that she had made them. And suddenly, he gets really tired. So tired, he can't even make it to the bed, and he ends up passing out on the bedroom floor. And he never wakes up again. Months later, Author writes her children's book, and then she's out promoting that book. And during that whole children's book phase is when the toxicology report comes back. And as we know, the report shows that Mason OD'd on fentanyl. But you want to know what else it showed? He had 5 times the lethal amount in his system. So police look at this toxicology report and they're like, whoa, 5 times the amount? That's suspicious. So they get a warrant and they search Mason and Author's house. And they end up seizing Author's cell phone and several computers. And through these devices, they can see that Author at one point had made some texts to her housekeeper, asking if housekeeper could get her some fentanyl. And housekeeper is a little dealer on the side, so housekeeper said, sure, I can get you some, and she delivers it to her. And guess when housekeeper delivered it to Author? A few days before Mason ate the sandwich, and then again a few days before he drank the Moscow Mule and passed away. And because of that, police are now convinced that Author did it. And also because in the years before Mason died, she took out multiple life insurance policies on him, worth millions of dollars, policies he allegedly wasn't aware of. So police arrest her, they charge her with first-degree murder, and she's now in jail with no bail, waiting for her trial to start. And this all happened in Camas, Utah, so shout out to Camas.